Mic check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
Are y'all ready?
Yeah.
Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Press play!
Jesus, we know we belong here because of your love for us that goes on and on forever. Jesus, we know you are with us wherever we go. You're there, we'll always be together.
So sing along with me for all the joy he brings.
It's going down. Get in the mix.
We're not stopping.
Get in the
The
mix.
party's hopping.
Get in the mix.
Everybody say, it's time to press play.
Get in the
The
mix.
beat is dropping.
Get in the mix.
Feet are stomping.
Get in the mix.
Everybody say, it's time to press play.
Oh, oh, oh.
Press play.
Oh, oh, oh.
Press play.
Jesus, we know we belong here because of your love for us that goes on and on forever. Jesus, we know you are with us wherever we go. You're there, we'll always be together.
So sing along with me for all the joy he brings.
It's going down. Get in the mix.
We're not stopping.
Get in the
The
mix.
party's hopping.
Get in the mix.
Everybody say, it's time to press play.
Get in the
The
mix.
beat is dropping.
Get in the mix.
Feet are stomping.
Get in the mix.
Everybody say, it's time to press play.
Oh, oh, oh.
Press play.
Oh, oh, oh.
Press play.
Oh, oh.
Press play.
Oh, oh.
Press play. All right, all right, all right. We're gonna break it down one time, y'all. You gotta sing it out with all you got. Y'all ready? Come on, come on. Clap your hands like this. Have confidence to get in the mix. Clap your hands like this. Have confidence to get in the mix. Now clap your hands like this. Like this. Have confidence to get in the mix. Now clap your hands like this. Like this. Everybody get in the mix.
Get in the mix.
We're not stopping.
Get in the
The
mix.
party's hopping.
Get in the mix.
Everybody say, it's time to press play.
Get in the
The
mix.
beat is dropping.
Get in the mix.
Feet are stomping.
Get in the mix.
Everybody say, it's time to press play.
Oh, oh. Get in the mix.
Press play.
Oh, oh. Get in the mix.
Press play.
Oh, oh. Get in the mix.
Press play.
Oh,
Press play.
Hey everyone, I'm Graham, and I'm here to give you a little bit of confidence. Confidence is learning to see yourself the way God sees you. When you're confident, you don't just sit around waiting for something to happen. No, when there's a game to be played, you get off the bench and play. When there's a challenge to be met, you face it head on. When there's music to be played, you get in the mix, grab an instrument, and make some noise. See what I mean? Confidence. Believe it or not, some people think the triangle isn't that important of an instrument. The band could get along just fine without it. But we know better, don't we? I mean, how else would you know when someone on TV had a good idea? Or how would you know when someone had the right answer on a game show? The answer is the Yangtze River. And of course, who can forget the dinner bell? Come and get it! Sometimes something that doesn't seem important can make a big difference. And in today's story, we'll see how God used someone who didn't think he was important. And that someone's name was Gideon? Right, Gideon. See you in a bit.
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, From Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story, inspired by the book of Judges, chapters 6.
Hello everyone, happy Sunday, happy summer. I'm so excited to be here with you guys. We are working through our summer theme, which is Press Play, where we're talking about getting in the mix, being confident, meaning we want to see ourselves the way God sees us. And for the next month and two, we are going to keep talking about confidence. We're going to be talking about how we want to see ourselves the way God sees us. And we're gearing up for our summer VBS theme, Press Play. It's going to be super awesome. We are having it in person. You're not going to want to miss it. So if you are here in the Vancouver area, join us July 19th through the 23rd here in person. It is going to be awesome. We're going to have so much fun. We've got a lot of fun surprises along the way for you guys. And it's going to be a really cool time of games, learning, crafts, and then of course, snacks and yummy time. So that is the quick announcement. So if you're in the area, we'd love to see you. It's going to be awesome. But with that being said, we're going to dive on into our story today. We have another story. This one comes from the Old Testament. This is a man by the name of Gideon. I don't know if you guys know Gideon's story, but to me, it is one of the coolest stories ever. He's a pretty awesome guy. He's a mighty warrior, and we're going to talk more about that later. And with Gideon, he's someone that sometimes we kind of forget about, but that's okay. We're gonna work on it. So today, we're learning about Gideon, and at the time of Gideon, I'll bring this a little closer. At the time of Gideon, we understand that God's people, the Israelites, were not doing good things. And so God had allowed a people group called the Midianites, not necessarily good people, to take over a lot of the land. So a lot of people, Gideon included, went and hid in caves and mountains. And so they were hiding in caves, they were hiding out in mountains, and then they would try and plant some crops and have some animals that were near where they were hiding in their caves. But the Midianites would always find them and they would destroy what they had. So then they would probably move and then try it again. And of course, it was just a weird cycle that happened. Well, one day, Gideon was out and he was, he was threshing wheat. Meaning he was like cutting some wheat down and doing a certain thing where he was taking the grain and putting it into a wine press so that way the Midianites wouldn't find it. So he was hiding the grain so that they could eat it, but leaving some of the other stuff. So it was this whole different thing that he was doing. And so while he was out there, an angel came and spoke to Gideon. And so we find this in Judges chapter 6, verse 12. And the angel says, "Mighty warrior, the Lord is with you." Now, Gideon totally freaked out because he looks at himself. He was not confident whatsoever. He looked at himself going, "I'm not a mighty warrior. I don't know who you're talking about or what you're even trying to say to me." And so Gideon then goes, "Pardon me, sir. You say the Lord is with us. Then why has all this happened to us? Where are all the wonderful things that he has done? Our people a long time ago told us about them. They said, 'Didn't the Lord bring us up out of Egypt?' But now the Lord has deserted us and he has handed us over to the Midianites." And the angel responded with, "You are strong. Go and save Israel from the power of the Midianites. I am sending you." Now, the Lord had a special plan. He was slowly beginning to clue Gideon in on it. And Gideon, remember, didn't think of himself as a mighty warrior and kind of freaked out. So a little later, he goes, "Okay, now, how can I possibly save Israel? My family group is the weakest in the tribe of Manasseh, and I am the least important in my family." So when Gideon readdressed this angel, he was like, "I'm nobody special. I'm weak compared to everybody else. How can God use me to go and defend our people?" And again, the angel reminded that God is with him and that God is making him a strong, mighty warrior. So Gideon then goes, "Okay, Now, with this message, he was really, really nervous. And so he was like, I need a special sign to know that this actually is God. Like, I need to know what's happening. So God did English. How do we say it? God came through on Gideon's request. God made a special request and said, hey, here's some food. I need you to like do some things with it. And God, being God, was like, of course. So he comes and he set fire to burn up some of the meat and the bread. Now, it probably didn't exactly look like our delicious meal here, but we can get the picture. So God sent it, and it was good. It was a meal. Now, when the Midianites, and now we have the Amalekites because they decided to come together and attack the Israelites, Gideon freaked out again. He goes, okay, I know I'm supposed to do this, but like, God, I think you really made a mistake. So again, he comes to God and goes, okay, so here's the deal. Here's what I need you to do. I need you to give me yet another sign because I'm just not sure. So then Gideon takes a towel and he lays it out in the grass. And he goes, okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to lay this towel outside in the grass. And here's what I need you to do, God. If this is really from you, I want you to make just the towel wet. Okay, just the towel, nothing around it. Okay, that's what I need you to do. Gideon comes back the next morning, and sure enough, the towel was wet, that he wrung it out, and there was water dripping out of it, and everywhere else around it was dry. Gideon was still not sure. Remember, he wasn't that confident. So then Gideon goes, okay. Like, I hear you, but I need just one more sign, please. And God was like, okay. So then Gideon, again, lays the fleece before him and he goes, okay, so here's what I need you to do. I want everywhere else around the towel to be wet, but the towel itself to be dry. So the towel's dry, the grass is wet. And God, if that happens, then I will really, truly know that this is what you want from me. So Gideon went away. Next morning, he comes back. Sure enough, it was completely dry. Everywhere else around it was absolutely wet. And it was that moment that Gideon really began to go, you know what? This is exactly what God has for me. So then in Judges chapter 7, we see this. God comes to Gideon again. He goes, I want you to I'm going to hand Midian over to you, but you have way too many men. So Gideon has now acquired an army. So he now has this army, and so they're all getting ready. They're all going to go fight and all this stuff. So now we can kind of spread our army out. So they're all getting ready for the war. They're like, yeah, let's do this. Okay, so Gideon's got a lot of men, right? So he's like, okay, we can do this. We can take out the Midianites, the Amalekites. Like, we got this, right? So then God comes to Gideon and goes, whoa, here's the deal. You have too many men. I know that like you feel a little confident with this many men, but you actually have too many. So God said, here's what I need you to do. You're going to do a test, and then whoever does this and whoever doesn't do this, you're going to get rid of them. So then Gideon was like, okay. So then he goes, great. Well, you didn't pass the test. So then we got to go like this. Ready? And away they went. So then God was like, okay, now, but I need you but now we're going to do another test because you still have too many men. So then he does another test, and away they go. So now Gideon is left with a smaller group. And God says, okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to divide them up into different groups. And then from there, we'll use this as Gideon. Then from there, you are now going to take the Midianites. And from there, Gideon goes, okay, so they go and they get separated into their three groups. They get ready and they get ready to attack, but they wait for Gideon's signal. And finally, Gideon goes, okay, here's the signal. I'm going to smash, he had a clay pot over a torch, and once that was smashed, then we would go and we would take the army and we would take them out. And Gideon did just that, and he went and they destroyed the Midianites. They took on the Amalekites, and God gave them back their land. God gave them these people. And through Gideon, we see that, you know what, as he began to put more trust in God, as he began to put his confidence in God, he began to see himself as God saw him, and God saw him as a mighty warrior. God allowed Gideon to take on the Midianites and to help take the Israelite army and destroy Midianites, destroy the Amalekites, to go, you know what? God's people, when they stand with God, they get his blessing. So our thought today is God can use you no matter what. Sometimes we feel like Gideon. Sometimes we feel like, I don't think I can do those things. I don't know what's happening. Maybe I'm not like this. Maybe I'm not like this. Well, what, I'm not like that. I'm not like that. But God goes, you know what? I'm going to use you no matter what. Gideon thought of himself as very weak. He thought of himself as small. He did not see himself as a mighty warrior. He did not see himself like God saw him. And it wasn't until after a little time that he began to understand more of God. And he began to understand that, you know what? God loves him, and that God does see him as this awesome, mighty warrior. So we want to remember that God can use you no matter what. That is all the time we have for today. I love you guys. Keep walking in confidence. Keep seeing yourselves as the way God sees you guys. I love you. I'll see you all next time. Let's see what our friends are up to.
According to Gideon, he was the least important family member and the weakest family of his tribe. He certainly didn't think God would use him to lead an army to victory over their enemies. But sometimes God uses people who don't seem important to make a big difference. You see this all through the Bible. Think of Jesus. He didn't pick the strongest, smartest, and most holy people to be his 12 closest friends. He picked regular guys, fishermen and tax collectors to be his disciples, and they went on to make a huge difference in the world. Hey, maybe that means God can use someone like me too, or someone like you. We don't have to know everything. We don't have to be important. God can do big things through us. Maybe he can use you to help a friend who's having a bad day. Maybe he can use you to solve a problem in your community. Or you might invent something that's never existed before. You might not think you're that important, and you might not think you're ready to make any kind of big difference. But the truth is, God thinks you're important, and he's totally ready to use you for something amazing. That's the one thing to remember today. God can use you no matter what. Knowing that should give you a little confidence. Why is my mouth watering? Oh, must be dinner time. I'll see you around.